Day one, new job. You're excited. You're ready to go to work. You're nervous. You're ready to make an impact because that's what you got in this line of service for, right? Your officer comes up to you, pulls you aside, says, "All right, kid, you don't have any experience. You don't know anything. So I want you to shut up. I want you to listen. Stick on my hip. You'll learn everything you need to know." That new person's looking at Ig, thinking, what did I get into? I wanted to contribute. I wanted to make an impact. And this guy's telling me to shut up and do what he says. I think we're our own worst enemies when it comes to the way we talk to each other. I've seen many a great firefighters on a great crew get switched to one of these old officers that's got the old mentality. And it's my way, shut up. That's what I want. And I see those firefighters, their motivation, everything that they've learned, that they know, just takes a back seat because what can they do? If they take it upon themselves, they're going to get in trouble. They're going to get yelled at, right? That may have worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore. From a lot of the research I've done, 3 reasons people leave departments. Notice money's not on those top 3. You got toxic environment. They don't see a future in their organization. And they're not given any ownership. They can't contribute to the cause. They can't contribute to improving the department, to improving themselves, anybody else. So what do we tell new people? Be quiet, shut up and train. Just do what I tell you. I've been here 30 years. I know everything. Just watch me and you'll learn. You're experienced. You don't really know anything. Which, yeah, that's true. You're inexperienced. You don't know that. But you're already reinforcing that negative into their head. Then if you do have somebody that gives an idea or wants to give input, how many people label them right away as a 2 and 20? Or if they say, "Hey, I saw this on YouTube," now they're a YouTube firefighter. With experienced individuals, how many of you guys have discussed tactics with somebody on your department and it just becomes everybody's yelling at each other? Okay? Transitional attack. Oh, we don't do that. We go inside. Why are you going to sit outside and hit it from the yard? Is that really what it is? No, it's neither of those. But we're so ingrained in fighting with each other because I want to be right, that that's what happens. Okay? As Michael was just talking about, aggressive, people will term it as dangerous. It's not the same. Aggressive means we're doing our job the way we should be doing it. Dangerous means we're not paying attention, we just go running in. And then the big hot button on Facebook lately has been the Euro helmets. Everybody, leather forever. Yeah. Does it really matter? No. And then it comes down to how many people think they know more than the other person because they have more years on the job. Okay. One thing we got to remember is years on the job does not equate to experience. So what happens from all this caustic communications? Okay. A new firefighter, they don't feel valued. They feel like they're just put in the corner, they're there to fill a seat. They start to become unmotivated, maybe even disgruntled. And they no longer feel that they can have an impact. Going back to the list, the reasons why people leave, they can't contribute. So they're going to go somewhere where they feel that they can. So they look for a different department, sometimes even a different career. And when you have people leaving the department in droves, now you've got this connotation that you've got a negative culture. Something is wrong there. We get frustrated. We stop giving input. We stop giving ideas. I'm sure everybody in here at some point has been pissed off enough and frustrated enough that you just were quiet. So silence is communication. And when you have those members of your organization that are usually outspoken become quiet, you know you've got a serious problem. Again, we get unmotivated, we get bitter. That lack of motivation starts to spread like wildfire. The more negative people you get, the more unmotivated people you get, the worse it becomes. And again, we look to change departments or careers. What can we do to fix this? With young guys, young firefighters, teach them the why, not just the how. Okay? When we take them out and we're doing things with them, make them understand why we do it so that they really understand what we're doing. Encourage them to come up with questions and ideas. Now, the way I like to look at it is these new people coming in don't have the experience, don't have the time of doing the things we do. So they're new to it. They don't understand. They're asking questions sometimes that we don't even think of. They bring those outside ideas, those outside opinions, and a lot of times it makes us think about it. Okay, is that really what we should be doing? Is that the correct tactic? Even though they don't have the deep knowledge and the experience in the fire service, they can still ask questions to change the way things are. Ideas. If they bring to you ideas, whether they say they saw it on YouTube, whether they say they thought of it themselves, take them outside. Great, let's go try it. See what happens. Good or bad, now you know. Now they know. They understand if it works, it doesn't work. Give them a voice. So that kind of comes back to let them have the input. Let them say things. Let them do things. And give them ownership. So what is ownership? It's giving somebody the opportunity to make the impact. If we don't let them get involved because they're new or because they cause problems or whatever the reason is, they have no ownership in that department. If you don't have ownership, how do you put your heart and soul into it? That's where we start to get people that come to work for a paycheck. They start thinking, well, there's nothing I can do at the department. My officer, my chief, he doesn't want any input from me. He doesn't want me to do anything. So I'll just come collect my paycheck and I'll go home. Not giving ownership, I think, is one of the biggest reasons that people become unmotivated and stop caring, and also one of the biggest reasons why people leave. When I taught within my previous department and the community college, I really like to give these new people difficult scenarios. For so long, through academy and for their first couple years, we just tell them what to do. Tell them how to do it. Again, we don't explain the why we do it. So we don't teach them to think critically. So they kind of have an idea, let them do it. Also, give them those ideas. Give them a writ scenario. Guys upstairs, low on air, go get him. See what he does. Don't need to give them the guidance. Let them go up, figure it out, see what works, see what doesn't. Make them think and understand what they're doing. Don't just tell them how to do it. Letting them fail is one of the best teachers that you can have. I'm sure everybody here's failed at something. I know I've learned a lot more from my failures than I have successes. So when we succeed, we learn what works. When we fail, we understand why it works. And a quote from Simon Sinek that I really like is, ideas happen when our minds wander. So, I know all of us in here have sat and just thought about what if. What if I try this? What if I do this? How does it affect the building? How does this affect the fire? And all these new innovative ideas, all the past tactics that work, they all came from it. It all comes from people thinking, wondering, trying to figure out what's best. We got to create that environment for us to thrive and succeed. Empower the people to take ownership of things, to improve the departments, instill that pride and ownership. If you want your department to be the best, you want to be, function at a good level, so that you can get in there quick, then you've got to have pride in your department. And you've got to have ownership in that. And then reward it. Those leaders in your department that are often pushing these new things, they just get blackballed because, they're just trying to stir things up. Why can't they just come to work and do the stuff we already do? And that doesn't do anything for us. Don't respect and understand each other's thoughts and opinions. I know that's a tough one for all of us to do. It's easy to fight with each other, especially now with the UL studies and people's experience. Everybody is one side or the other. Either they don't buy into the studies because they've seen enough fire, they know what it is, or they buy into the studies because it's science. Well, somewhere in the middle is what's real. So instead of fighting with each other, let's meet in the middle and figure it out. Doing all this is how we keep everybody happy, motivated, and moving forward. So I like this quote. If the delivery method of your message immediately polarizes and pisses everybody off, you're wasting your time. The goal is not to piss people off in the name of some noble mission. It's to offer an alternative that is better. Be aware of not only the message, but how you deliver it. It matters. We've all seen it. You tell something to one person, and it's an immediate fight. One thing we got to understand with communication is everybody has their primary mode of communication. Think about that person in your department that you can't ever come to an agreement no matter what you talk about. That's because you both are on the opposite end of being able to talk to each other. Some people want it direct. You need to do this, this, and this. All right, I'm happy with it. I'll go do it. You tell that to somebody else, and they think you're yelling at them. Why are you attacking me? But all you need to do to them is say, we got to do this, this, and this, because these reasons. And with that, they're happy. They'll go do it. So in my opinion, I think communication is one of the most important things we can fix in the fire service. Not only just interpersonal, but every time we go to a fire, every time we go to an incident, we have a briefing afterwards. What comes up every time? that we could improve. Communication. All right, something we do every day, but we suck at it. We also have to remember that communication goes up and down the chain. From the firefighter to the chief, we have to be able to communicate between each other. Things can't go up and stop somewhere or come down and stop somewhere. If you lose that communication, you start getting rumors, you start getting unhappy people, and things can go south pretty quick. By allowing communication to happen and being able to do it correctly, innovation, creativity, all that stuff will skyrocket. Like I talked about, you got to learn how to talk to different people. You got to get to know them and understand what they want to be able to talk to them. There's a thing called the DISC assessment. It's a very helpful tool in learning how to talk to different people and learning how you communicate. I think if we all went and figured out what letter we were, it would help us tremendously in being able to communicate with each other. I want to finish up with the things we did in the past don't work anymore. Everybody wants to blame the millennials. Oh, they can't take somebody yelling at them. They can't, whatever it is. Yeah, it may be true with some of them, but it's not their fault. It's how they were raised. Okay? You want to take a true mentorship, leadership opportunity? Take these people, take them under your wing, teach them how to get that tough skin, how to make it through the tough times. Give that pride and ownership to them. And down the line, you're going to have an amazing firefighter. Thank you.